Alright, welcome everybody. These guys just have a lot of energy, so I think we're just going to let them roll here.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right.
Go
okay. Welcome to Pike's Place Fish Market.
Welcome everybody. Is this anybody's first time at Pike's Place?
Woo!
Yeah? Have we have some people who have been here before? Nope. Okay. You been there? Yeah. So Pike's Place is it's a historical open-air fish market in the heart of Seattle. It's very well known. This is the ambiance that they provide. People go there to have an experience. They don't just go there to buy fish. And we've tried to represent that today. The business thrives. It's a booming business. You go down to the market, you can hardly get in there. You have to get down there as soon as it opens. The lines are out the door. It's crazy. It's just an experience. The employees who work there, they embrace it. They embrace the environment, the business model, everything about it. They've got the energy. They have a great time doing it. The business wasn't always this way. When the business first started, it was a quiet, barely surviving market. Was not thriving at all. Thank you.
Is that where you're at?
Yeah, you can start at the beginning. Yeah.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah. So the business was not always thriving. So people go there for great fish, to buy, to be a part of the environment, to buy the great fish. But they also they have that, but they also have a story of finding purpose. So the business wasn't thriving, and what changed that for them was developing what their purpose was. And it took just one kid to say, you know what, like, let's just take this boring fish selling business and let's become world famous. And the business owner kind of laughed at this idea of world famous. Like, who do you think we are? We don't have money to become world famous. We can't do that. You can go to the next slide. But as they embraced that idea and they decided that they did need to create a new future for themselves, or they were going to go bankrupt, they weren't going to be able to sustain a business, they decided they wanted to become world famous, and they committed to that. So once they all committed to that, they started acting world famous. The employees really began acting like that. They were thinking world famous. They had the persona. They were looking like it. They printed the logo, world famous, Pike's Place Market, world famous. They printed it on their boxes, on their shirts, on everything, and they really became world famous. So our success as individuals, as employees, as in our life, it's not in doing what they do at Pike's Place, but it's in discovering your own way. Make up your own purpose in life and really live it. Find what inspires you and really do it. As individuals, we each have to align ourselves with the commitment and declare it. So I am world famous Pike's Place Fish Market. And once we declare our commitment, things will really start happening for you. The fish philosophy that they have at Pike's Place is when you generate a powerful vision, the future does unfold itself. So maybe when they began this vision, it took some time, but slowly as they lived it, as they were, being world famous, it did unfold for them. And now you can see the results of that. So don't just believe it, be it. There's a difference between a belief about something and the actual thing itself. I thought this was a nice quote from Muhammad Ali. He said, "I believe I am the greatest." He said, "I am the greatest." He was declaring himself. It's the difference between believing in the idea of being great versus being your commitment to being great right now. So I challenge all of you to, identify what is your purpose in life. Maybe it is to be world famous, and if it is, then really own that and be it. But if it's something else, develop a personal purpose statement for yourself. Because if you develop that and really say it and own it, you're more likely to achieve it.
We'll just watch really quick a little bit about Pikes
who was kind of starstruck. He was a rock and roll player. He had played bass in the band, and every time any celebrity would walk by, he'd run out and get their autograph and get on a first name basis, get their phone number, call them at Christmas time, sell them fish for their Christmas parties, etc. He just had that kind of personality. And he goes, "Let's be world famous." And when he said that, everybody looked at him like, "What? Are you nuts?" There he goes, And John goes, "Well, but wait a minute, why not?"
The biggest part of being world famous is to make a difference for you as a human being. Every human being, not just someone who's buying fish, but anybody who comes in contact with us, we're committed to making a difference for you for that moment.
Because there is a tendency to go back into, "Oh, well, I'm selling fish," And no, you're not. You're not selling fish. We're doing something more than selling fish here.
I had no idea that Pike Place Fish could have such an impact in the world. What we mean by the power of personal responsibility is that you are responsible for everything that shows up in your life and how you react to that certain situation. You have the choice. But most human beings don't know that. Like they become a victim of the circumstance. And we do a lot of work with what's the conversation that goes on between your ears.
So the four cornerstones of purpose that we're going to talk about individually today are aspiration, intentionality, selflessness, and balance.
Okay, thank you for coming today. Aspire. What does aspire mean? Audience. What does it mean, aspire?
What is your goal?
Okay.
Higher up.
That sounds good. Kathleen, come right on up here, please. Kathleen.
Yes.
Who would name their daughter Kathleen?
The best parents in the world.
Yeah. Okay, Kathleen from the Care Center. When you saw Aspire 2, what came to your mind?
To be the best you can be, best human being, best nurse, best person.
Okay, let's do nurse, because that's an easy one. Everybody help Kathleen. She wants to aspire to be the best nurse in the world famous nurse. Tell her what she needs to do to be a world famous nurse. Audience.
Serve.
Serve?
Smile.
Care.
Have a good education.
Be compassionate.
Okay.
Team player.
Don't go with the status quo, be different.
All right.
Be tough.
Now she's writing this down in her mind, and she's matching where she's at with what you just said. We're helping her to aspire to be a world famous nurse. So that's what all of us need to do. So I can see Kathleen's going to do that, and she's going to be one of the best world famous nurses in the care center we have got. Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll go to intentionality. Mike.
What is intentionality? I won't make you come up front, I promise. So how do you think intentionality fits into purpose, aspiration? Nobody?
I'm foreign, I really don't know what that means.
You might be a better at
Intention, what's your intention in life? What are you intending to do?
It's your intention, it's being intentional towards your aspirations. It's not giving up. It's, quote by John F. Kennedy is, we chose to go to the moon in this decade and do other things not because they're easy, but because they are hard. It's making choices, bettering yourself, and not letting others get in the way and following it through to the end. One of the things with intentionality is to be able to do these things. One quote is, fear is the cheapest room in the house, and I would like to see you living in better conditions. Meaning, don't let fear hold you back. Don't let people telling you that you can't do it, or you won't do it, or you're going to be a failure keep you from moving forward with that. This is an old video clip we're going to show, but it's someone, when you look at someone about purpose, Martin Luther King, he had purpose, he had intentionality and aspiration, and he didn't let anybody stand in his way.
In 1963, some 200,000 people marched to Washington in the biggest political demonstration the Capitol had ever seen. The issue, civil rights for the country's 20 million black minority. Dr. Martin Luther King had already led similar protests in the southern states against discrimination in schools, on public transport, in shops and restaurants. This was taking the fight to the heart of the country itself, and it struck a chord in American consciousness. Within a year, though there were many setbacks on the way, an act was signed prohibiting discrimination in employment, hotels, and government jobs. On the day, the organizers thought they'd be lucky to get 100,000 supporters out onto the streets. In the event, more than double that number turned up. Film stars and politicians, whites and blacks, from all sections of the community, inspired by the rhetoric of Dr. King himself, and by the song that became the battle hymn of the civil rights movement.
sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners? Will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood? I have a dream.
Tragically, before that dream could be fully realized, Dr. King died at the hands of an assassin in 1968. But his inspiration lived on and changed the history of race relations in the United States forever.
It just shows how much somebody with aspiration and intentionality can do it. Two quotes that kind of go with that. I think one of the big ones is aspire to great things, but more importantly, aspire to bring others along with you in the journey. And the other is just to be in it for the long haul. There is no finish line, and lost causes are the only ones worth fighting for.
So the next cornerstone is selflessness, and I guess one question I want to ask first of all is, if you're having a bad day, or if something's not going exactly as you think it should, what's a good way to feel better about yourself? Anybody have any thoughts or ideas on how you can? Okay, do something for someone else. What are some of the other tricks you guys use? Maybe we can't talk about them in here. You know, I feel the same way with about selflessness as Cynthia does. That if I'm having a bad day, or if something's not going quite right, or I get kind of in this self-pity mode where I'm feeling bad for myself, all I have to do is help somebody out, and all of a sudden I feel a lot better. And I think that's a great tool that we can use to have good attitudes at work, is find purpose and become something larger than yourself, and think about the group as a whole. Think about everybody and how you can support others, and how you can make their day better, and how you can make their work life better. Selflessness is defined as having or showing great concern for other people and little or no concern for yourself. There's a law, it's called Rafe's Law. Whatever you most need in life, the best way for you to get it is to help someone else get it who needs it more than you do. And I think that's a great way to live your life. If you need to be happy, help somebody else be happy, and you'll find happiness in that. I'm going to show a quick little video clip, just because I think it illustrates how this person has been able to find happiness in his life, but also bring happiness to others and help somebody who may be having a not so good day. So.
Thomas Weller has two gardens. One in his backyard where he grows morning glories and other plants.
Those are going to be beautiful flowers.
And one on the highway.
Here we go.
Where he sows the seeds of kindness.
There's too much anger and distrust and fear out there. I'd like the world to be a better place.
To that end, Tom patrols the highways of San Diego in his Ghostbuster-inspired rescue vehicle, rescuing people like Mr. Frazzled and Ms. Frustrated here. The couple was overheated, as was their car.
They don't look good.
Fortunately, this was their lucky day. A mechanic by trade, Tom is prepared for just about any roadside emergency.
This is way better than AAA.
He helped this couple first find their spare tire.
I never would have figured out that square.
Then change it. Of course, eventually, people always ask him, "Why are you doing this?" To which Tom responds, without saying a word.
He gave me a card that says, "Assisting you has been my pleasure. I ask for no payment other than for you to pass on a favor by helping someone in distress that you may encounter."
It's the same message Tom first heard 40 years ago.
Almost word for word.
After he plowed his car into an Illinois snowbank.
I probably would have froze there if this fellow hadn't stopped and helped me.
Since then, Tom has paid the favor forward more than 5,000 times.
He's a strapping young man. He could have changed his own tire.
Sure he could. But then I wouldn't have had the fun doing it for him.
Wow. Tom says it's a great feeling. Of course, on rare occasion, some other good Samaritan will beat him to the punch. In fact, that happened not long ago. And Tom actually asked the do-gooder why he had stopped to help this particular stranger.
He said 4 months earlier, his wife had a blowout on the freeway, and somebody stopped to help her. And he said, by the way, thank you for doing that for my wife.
Obviously, somebody had read his card.
So you saw it all
That's
come
my
full
garden
circle.
growing.
Yeah, that's your garden growing.
And who knows how many other offshoots have come from this devoted gardener who plants seeds of good deeds in the fallow field of the American freeway.
Thank you very much. You're wonderful.
Steve Hartman, CBS News.
Okay, so I think one of the keys with this is that none of these people are doing things that are just way out of the question, amazing, but the way that they go about doing it is amazing. And I think that's what sets great people apart. You look at Mother Teresa, you look at Florence Nightingale, you look at Martin Luther King. All of these people did great things. It wasn't that they were super overly amazing people, but it was how they proceeded, it was how they acted about their callings in life. And so I just challenge you to find to be a part of a cause that is bigger than you, and we'll talk more about how you can do that at the end of the presentation.
Okay, so the next cornerstone, the last cornerstone is balance. And I thought this was a great picture that I feel oftentimes represents myself in life, trying to maintain balance. So I have an activity for everybody to do. Instead of talking about balance, I think everyone has a good idea of what balance is, just juggling all of the things that we have chosen to bring into our life or that have come to our life. So everyone has a worksheet on their chair. Randall, did you get some pens? If someone can just help me make sure everyone has a pen. And then if any of you guys in the back want to grab a worksheet, there's plenty of extras up here if you'd like to do the activity.
Pens or pencils?
It's called the Wheel of Life tool, and it's something that you can look at. I mean, every day, day-to-day life is going to have some imbalances. Some days you're going to work an 11-hour day at work, and other days you're not going to work at all. And I have a baby right now. My life is not extremely balanced. You have times in your life where you're going to have imbalances. But this tool is it's a nice assessment when you need to step back from your life and say, okay, like my life is feeling really imbalanced. I need to just assess where I'm spending most of my time, what's imbalanced. So the front of the sheet gives you a list of topics, areas where you may be spending your life. And we're just going to do a quick couple-minute sample of this, but you can go back and change these topics, change these areas if they don't necessarily represent your life exactly. You can add or subtract or make changes to that. So on the back of this, where it actually shows the diagram, what you're going to do is go through and using a scale of 0 to 10, where 1 represents the lowest area of satisfaction. Not time spent there, but just satisfaction overall. So you're going to rate with, Trevor, can you go to the next slide, please? So for health, if you feel like you have 0 satisfaction, you're going to put your dot right here. If you feel like you're 10, you are extremely satisfied with your health, you're satisfied with your healthcare results, you're physically fit, you're feeling balanced, you're going to rate it as a 10. So just go through each of these and mark where you fall. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense? No? Yes? Okay. So and then when you plotted each of those points on your wheel, you're gonna, like this one, go through and connect all of the dots. Not where you're not participating. Okay, you're an overachiever. Okay, so what the idea behind this is that you would have balance, like the 5 represents all the way around. That's what the goal is that you would have a wheel that would be fluid moving in life. You would have balance. If you don't, you might want to reassess. This example here has a lot of ups and downs. As a wheel, if you were going to try to roll that, you would have a very bumpy road that you would be rolling on. So you might want to reassess on your satisfaction with some of those areas in your life.
Okay, so each of us is born with a purpose, with a life purpose. Identifying, acknowledging, and honoring this purpose is perhaps the most important action successful people take. Jack Canfield. So we thought, how can we help people to give back? What are some ways that we can do that? And we tried to figure out an activity or something that we could do. And we thought, well, the month of July is really busy already. There's already a lot going on. So there's something else that we can help with. And so we called Denise Kuntz, who is over the Star Valley Half Marathon, and we asked her what we could do to help. And she said that the biggest thing that we could do at Star Valley Medical Center is to have people come and cheer on the participants, cheer on the people that are going to be running in the marathon, or to have people that sign up for the marathon. And so we thought, the hospital is a sponsor of the Star Valley Half Marathon. We thought we would just encourage everyone here to somehow participate in that, whether you run, walk, whatever you want to do, but also if you can't do that, then to participate by cheering people on. And so that is going to be held on the 12th of July. And I just want to give you a little background on the Star Valley Half Marathon, just because I think it's such a great cause. So Denise lost her son in a tragic accident, Jeremy. He was, I believe, he was running a race, or was he running in Ragnar?
He was actually rooting somebody on.
Okay, so he was rooting somebody on and was hit by a drunk driver and killed back in 2009. And so they started the Star Valley Half Marathon to leave kind of a legacy for Jeremy. And then what they do with this is they don't just take the funds and use it for themselves. They take the funds and they support a cause is going on or help people in need. And so to help out with the funds this year with Star Valley Half Marathon, they've decided to help with Evie's Angels. And so I don't know if any of you know Evie, I believe it's Evie Owenslager. Cute little girl here. She's battling a rare form of cancer, and the funds that come from Star Valley Half Marathon are going to go to help her with that battle. And so I think this is a great cause. It's not recreating the will, and we're helping out somebody in need. So if you can participate in that in any way, even if it's just cheering people on, please find time on July 12th to go and help out with that. That's how we're going to give back. So.
And along with that, if you need assistance, for the run, it is a $55 fee to sign up for it. But if the hospital did give away four spots for that, but we'd be willing to help people find the funds. If funds is a challenge, we'd be willing to try to partner with that to help people participate. We really think it is a good fun.
How many do we have that are participating in this already? Sarah? Who else? Okay. All right, well, please help out if you can. We really encourage it. And that's our presentation on purpose.
Thank you, team. That was very good. So can we be a world-class hospital?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We can do everything we want.
Yeah. There's our goal. Okay. All right. So we have to go through the rest of the agenda here. Thank you. Trevor, you're up again.
Okay, remind me what I'm talking about.
Time off.
Time off? Okay, so one of the challenges that we've had is with the short-term sick use. And so we wanted to talk about what short-term sick should be used for. And it should be used for sickness, basically. And we've had some people that have wanted to use it for just time off. So I guess the thing there is we just encourage you that it's to be used for your sickness, or if you have a spouse or son or daughter that's sick, you can use it for that as well to help take care of them. So we're going to be coming out with a new policy, and we'll have more information on that as we get it developed. But basically, it's already they should use it for sake, but we're gonna come up with a policy that actually backs that, so that Mindy doesn't have to be the bad guy and say, yeah, you can't use it for that.
About eye doctors and dentists.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. It's just, we didn't want people using it in place of their paid time off, because
And I
now
can't use
the
it
paid
to go
time off.
hunting?
So,
No, I'm sorry, you can't.
Well, hunting is therapeutic.
so,
All right, you want to talk about new employees?
yeah, let me, welcome new employees here. So as many of you know, you'll see a lot of new faces around. I want to just take a minute and take Leighton. He's been a great help with this. He's been great in helping us recruit people and all the paperwork. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff goes on. And Mindy as well, because she has to make sure that they get paid. And that's a big deal for the employees, but it's also a big deal to her, because she takes such pride in it and wants to make sure everybody's paid correctly. So if you see them, give them a hand, because they're great to help out. Stevie Randall, she is working as a CNA on Med-Surg. She is, I believe, full-time. Is it Taylor King, CNA Care Center. And if you're here, I don't know if I see anybody here that's brand new, but if you're here, maybe just stand up and we can welcome you. Julie Clausen, medical technologist in the lab. Chris Tanner, an RN on the Med-Surg floor, is full-time. Doug Philbrook, ER EMS coordinator, and he's also working as a paramedic. So we now have 24/7 paramedic coverage between Mike and Doug. Lindsay Moore, CNA, the Care Center. Lauren Dwyer is an RN at Med-Surg. She's also going to be working, helping us out in infusion. Shavy Wolfley, therapy aide. Angie Campbell, environmental services. She's here.
Right here.
All right. Welcome, Angie. And that's the new hires that we have.
Okay.
So please welcome them as you see them. Help them feel comfortable here.
Okay, Joe, you want to talk about the picnic and the education assistance?
Sure. Wanted to make sure we talked about this last month as well, that everybody's getting on their calendar. August 20th is going to be our employee picnic. Again, all of your family is invited to that. We're going to, as Charlie mentioned last month, we were just named a top 20 hospital again, so we're going to be focusing that celebration on there and trying to maybe do a few new things and make it fun and exciting for that. So please get that on your calendar. Education assistance. Spin in the Friday flyer, and just again want to reiterate that if you are going to school right now and are looking for a little bit of assistance in terms of finances, we do have that program set up. The deadline to get those applications back to me is July 1. So it's this next week, so that we can get those onto the committee to review those and get that set up for this fall. Can I touch on upcoming events on the bottom?
Sure.
Okay. They talked about the half marathon and EV. Those are great things. If you do happen to be busy on July 12th, we are looking for some volunteers on Friday, July 4th. We're going to be participating in the Thane parade again, up in Thane. That is at 11 o'clock on Friday, July 4th, and also participating in the Afton parade again, and that's Friday, July 4th at 1 o'clock. If you show up a half hour to hour ahead of time, you can help us decorate. The theme in Thane is American traditions, so we're really looking at decorating the truck and the trailer in red, white, and blue, and then having people dress up like baseball, doctors, nurses, anything you can think of that kind of goes along with American tradition. So if you have an interest or availability to help out, your families are more than welcome to come and get involved with those as well. It's always great to have kids helping out on those as well. Please let Pam Wolfley or myself know so that we can have an idea as to who's going to be around. Hopefully we're going to have a few residents at the Afton parade, so you may be walking alongside of the trailer more than actually being on the trailer, but we're going to have candy to throw out, and it's really a good time. So let us know if you're willing to help out with those. Thank you.
Any questions for Joe? If you rattled off a lot of stuff really fast. Okay. All right. to Eli, Meditech.
So we start our meaningful use attestation July 1st. Most of the stuff that is meaningful use required is already in place, so you're already doing it. This mainly affects providers and nurses, but there will be a couple of new questions, some other things that may pop up. When we get those in place, we'll let you know. Wanted to just thank everybody for the hard work they put in these first 90 days. We know it's been a challenge, but we're getting there. Things are getting better every day, so if you have any other questions about Meditech or whatever, we're always available to answer any of those questions.
Eli, you want to talk to me about the site visit we had last week?
Sure. So last week we had a small community hospital from California come. You may have seen them walking around with us. When we say small, we're small, but they only have 9 beds and 1 doctor, so they're a lot smaller than us. So it went really well. They were looking to see how our experience with Meditech went. We were able to really sell them on Meditech and how it went for us. And I appreciate those that maybe talked with and shared your feelings with them. It was really good. Meditech was pleased with their impression of us, so I think we'll probably see a few more site visits as we get Meditech rolling here. I know Charlie's interested in making us a show site for Meditech, so it's probably going to be a relatively common occurrence. So don't forget what you had to do to get to where we are now, because you'll have to tell a lot of people as they're coming to us.
All right, thank you, Eli. Any questions for Eli? All right. Mike, we're zipping through this.
Also, man.
No.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
I just wanted to give everyone a little bit of an update on our construction progress and talk about a few things. Probably saw that we relocated a couple of more trees out back here. I'm very hopeful they're going to survive. They were a little harder to get out of the ground. The ground was pretty dry over there where we had taken them out of the ground. They got skinned up a little bit. So we're hoping that, I saw Bob out there putting some artificial bark on them yesterday, trying to keep them alive. So we hope that they'll survive. Those are really pretty Canadian chokecherry trees. So we want to keep them alive if we can. What's going on out front from a construction perspective, you can kind of see every day the changes that are going on. I sat through a safety meeting this morning over at the construction office, and they're laying out the interior walls today in the ER. So they'll be doing the framing starting as of tomorrow and the rest of the week and next week until that framing is finished. On the 7th of July, there'll be more mechanical contractors here to start putting in duct work and that kind of thing. Tomorrow, they'll be starting the roofing on that building. And if you've noticed, they're going to pour some concrete up on the roof for a little, what we call a penthouse, that will house some of the mechanical equipment, the air conditioning and heating units. And so they're pouring some concrete up there, so I'm interested to see how they're going to do that on the roof. So the block laying company is here doing some interior block walls in the surgery department expansion. Probably have seen them here again. And next week they'll be putting the plumbing in the ground in the surgery. Toward the end of next week, they should be about ready to pour the floor for the surgery department. So the plan is, and we're just slightly ahead of our construction schedule, which is really exciting. For Star Valley Construction, we're a little bit ahead of schedule. But the plan is, looking at the construction schedule, we should be back to the old ER entrance with the ambulances about September 1st. So what that means is they'll build kind of a temporary hallway through what's going to be the new surgery department to the old ER until the new ER is finished. And once we move into the new ER, then we'll be able to tear that temporary entrance down, and they'll be working in the interior of the surgery area. So this is a fairly complicated project, and they told me a few days ago that they're about out of when you're building in addition to an existing building, little bit dicey when you're digging in the ground around the existing building, because sometimes the as-built drawings don't always tell the truth. And you dig things up that you may not have known that were there. And so we're about through that part of the process. So our architect has done a great job in planning, and our contractor is doing a fantastic job in not hitting too much, other than lots of sprinklers. We've had a little bit of sprinkler trouble, as you've seen some dry lawns around here, but things are starting to green back up now. So, you know, the project is going very well. We're really excited about how the progress is going. So, a couple of comments, just again about parking. I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but I'd like to encourage you all to continue to park as far away from the building as you can, to leave these closer spots for our patients. And especially this time of the year, we have a lot of patients activity into the hospital, and where we're now trying to funnel even the ER traffic through the front doors, that requires more and more parking in front of the hospital. So I hammer on the construction workers, telling them not to park in those areas, and I'm sorry I'm hammering on all of you about that too, but we really appreciate your assistance in that, and it sure is making it better for our patients and their ability to get into the hospital as soon as they can, especially in an emergency situation. It's nice for them to be able to park close to the hospital. So, any questions I can answer about any of the construction that's going on? This week we're turning on the new generator. That's going to be turned on and fixed, so that's that project will be coming to completion here in the next few days. So. The MOB, thank you. MOB construction. If you've been to the clinic, you've seen that the ladies at the reception desk are getting boxed in over there, and Russ and the maintenance guys are doing a great job in doing that construction without any disruption and keeping things clean, and we really appreciate that, and we're doing a great job with that. So this next few days you'll start to see some demolition in Connie's old office and where Melissa used to sit in that area. You'll see some demolition there where we tear walls out to prepare for the new patient flow area there. So that's coming along pretty good too. We're excited about that. Joel?
About the med-surg flooring.
The med-surg flooring. We're going to be replacing the carpet at the nurses station area, which is kind of from the surgery desk clear around to the nursery. That carpet is all going to be replaced with this new soft, thick linoleum that's got a hardwood look to it. And so that is going to begin tonight at 10 p.m. They'll start tearing the carpet out tonight at 10 p.m. and work through the night for the next several days until they've got that finished. They'll start at 10 and finish about 4 or 5 in the morning before the change of shift, and we get activity going. So we'll be focusing on that project as well. So, Amy, did you have a question?
I was just asking about the med-surg unit too. So you did an awesome job. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
You did slow us down a little bit, but we'll make it up. I want to thank everybody. Have you noticed it's getting busy? You know, and so I want to thank everybody for enduring this summer. I think when you look at August 20th for being our hospital picnic, I think that's going to be a celebration of making it through the summer. So I think it's an appropriate time of year to do that. I just want to give you a real quick update about some providers and what's happening. We're having a new CRNA starting in the middle of July. His name is Chad Bagley, who's somebody who grew up in Star Valley. So I don't know if you know the name Bagley, but so it's going to be great to have him come back to Star Valley. Dr. Tomlinson has actually moved here. She's here, and she will be starting at the hospital on the 14th of July and starting to see patients on the 21st of July. So we're thinking it's way out there, but it's not way out there anymore. It's actually it's approaching us very quickly. She was at the Health and Safety Fair, for those of you that came to that, and she was very well received. I mean, she was busy the whole time talking to community members. So think she's going to really hit the ground running. Dr. Green, our general surgeon, is going to be starting in mid-August. And so he's still a little ways out, but he's making his plans to move here and his family as well. So we're excited about them. I think most people know that Dr. Carter is going to beef up his clinic practice, and he's not going to be doing emergency room practice anymore. And Dr. Kirk is actually giving his practice up as far as clinic, and he's going to do more emergency room. So there's some changes going on there, and what that's also doing is allowing us to actually hire a mid-level for the Thane Clinic, and so we're looking for a nurse practitioner. So right now, if you guys know of any nurse practitioners out there that want to come to Star Valley, so I would say that there would be a reward for that if you find us a name, so as well. So if you know anybody that. So okay, I think we're down to question and answers. So do you guys have any questions for us, any of us here? Anybody? Joel?
On behalf of the foundation, I wanted to thank everybody that helped volunteer during the golf tournament and the triathlon. They were both exceptional events, and we had a lot of good feedback from the participants. So thank you to everybody that helped out with those.
Okay. Nobody froze?
Nope, nobody froze, nobody drowned.
Okay.
We did have one flat tire, but other than that, everybody did well. Sarah made it across the line.
I had gas on the way back. Put my wetsuit on the road. Ran down there.
All right, anything else from anybody? All right, Pam? Drawings?
Also, if you're on the front row, look under your seat and see if you're a winner.
There's a winner.
Somebody with the name starting with M. Can't read it.
Tough call. Marcella. Marcella.
Look on the front row, Marcella.
You won.
One of the winners today.
Okay, I can read this with Susan Burke.